The spirit of fano is a word etched deep into the heart of Ethiopian patriotism and resistance. More than just a name, fano represents freedom fighters, men and women who rise to protect their land, people, and national identity. The fano movement traces its roots to Ethiopia's anti-colonial struggle, but has evolved over decades into a potent grassroots force, sometimes revered, sometimes feared, in Ethiopian politics, especially in the Amhara region. The stories of their bravery were passed down through generations via poetry, songs, and stories. During the reign of Haile Selassie, there were sporadic instances of local self-defense groups being called fano. They operate informally, mostly with community funding and volunteers. To many Ethiopians, especially in the Amhara region, fano is an idea of resisting injustice, an idea of defending one's community, and an idea of patriotism rooted in history and honor. From the mountains of the Italian invasion to the modern-day struggles for autonomy, the fano has demonstrated incredible resilience and adaptability. The story of the fano is still being written, and their actions will undoubtedly continue to shape the future of Ethiopia. Whether they are remembered as heroes or villains depends on how the current chapter plays out. But one thing is certain, the spirit of fano will endure. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Your engagement helps us continue producing quality content. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. We value your feedback and appreciate your support. Fighters come from diverse backgrounds, including rural peasants, urban youth, ex-soldiers, and even students. Despite this diversity, fano groups share a common thread in their strong tie to Amhara nationalism and their desire to protect Amhara lives, land, and culture. They criticize the federal government for not doing enough to ensure the safety and well-being of Amharas, particularly in Amhara region and peoples of Amhara in different part of the country. What drives the fano today? A complex interplay of factors, including historical grievances, ethnic tensions, political aspirations, and socio-economic challenges contribute to their rise. At its core, the fano movement embodies a sense of collective action and resistance against perceived injustices and a determination to shape their own destiny in the face of what they see as a failing state. The fano has been both praised as a heroic force defending their people when the state has failed to do so and criticized by some as dangerous militias acting outside the rule of law. One of the biggest controversies surrounding the fano is their alleged role to become into one strong organization. There are numerous reports of fano fighters committing strong battles with Ethiopian Federal Democratic soldiers in different parts of an Amhara region. These allegations have raised serious concerns about existence and stability of Ethiopian government. Furthermore, the fano movement has been blamed by the federal government for the increasing instability and insecurity in the country. The government accuses fano groups of deliberately creating chaos and undermining efforts to restore peace and order. This tension between the fano and the federal government has escalated in recent months, leading to violent clashes and raising fears of a broader conflict. These groups mostly emerged to resist internal oppression or challenge regional and federal prosperity party structure. The term fano wasn't widely used, but the spirit of local defense remained. During the Derg era 1974 to 1991, a socialist military junta that overthrew the monarchy, the term fano was used again, but not as prominently. Instead, there were armed peasant associations in rural areas that resisted both the Derg and the continuing civil wars in the country. These groups, however, often faced significant role in every and each struggle activity of the country. This is our look at the fano phenomenon. The modern fano movement post-2018, the modern form of fano re-emerged powerfully after 2018 following several interconnected events. First, the fall of the longtime ruling party, the TPLF-led EPRDF, amidst growing public discontent over issues like human rights, corruption, and lack of political participation. The EPRDF government, dominated by the TPLF, a Tigrayan political party, was seen by many in the Amhara region as marginalizing their interests and imposing unjust policies. Second, the rise of Abiy Ahmed as prime minister. Abiy, also known as the reformist, promised political and economic liberalization, as well as a more inclusive government that would address the grievances of various ethnic regions, including Amhara. This raised hopes for a fairer deal for the Amhara. Third, rising tension among neighboring regions, including Amhara, Oromia, and Tigray. There were long-standing territorial disputes and ethnic tensions in these regions that the central government had struggled to control. These factors created a volatile mix that contributed to the emergence of the fano. Starting in 2019 and 2020, several fano groups began to organize in the Amhara region. Although not a centralized movement, these groups shared common goals and grievances. They were particularly active in the Amhara regions of Gondar, Gojam, Shua, Wolobate Amhara, and Neber region in Walaga and Benshangul Gumuz. Some key grievances included land disputes with neighboring Tigray and Oromia regions, the killing of Amhara civilians in violence with other ethnic groups, and a sense that the federal government wasn't doing enough to protect their interests. The fano also expressed anger over what they saw as unjust distribution of resources and opportunities, believing that their region was being sidelined in favor of others. This grievance resonated with many in the Amhara region who felt that their voices had not been heard or their concerns addressed by the central government. Additionally, there was a perception that the central government was overly reliant on neighboring regions like Tigray, further marginalizing Amhara interests. For example, the fano accused the federal government of failing to address land conflicts in areas like Welkate, Tegid, and Rhea, territories claimed by both Amhara and Tigray. In 2020, the situation escalated when fighting broke out in Tigray between the TPLF and federal forces. During this conflict, fano fighters supported the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, or ENDF, helping them push back TPLF forces as they advanced southwards. This alliance between the fano and the ENDF was driven by a shared goal of ending the TPLF incursion and restoring stability. The fano groups viewed the conflict as an opportunity to demonstrate their military capabilities and influence the outcome of the war in favor of the Amhara cause. Their involvement in the war effort helped solidify their reputation as defenders of the Amhara people. However, following the conflict, tensions between the fano and the federal government grew once again. The fano began criticizing the government for not fulfilling its promises of reform and for what they saw as continued marginalization. This led to a series of violent clashes between the fano and federal forces, particularly in the Amhara region. The government accused the fano of lawlessness and of attempting to create a state within a state. It launched a crackdown on fano fighters, leading to arrests, killings, and displacement. Despite this, the fano movement continues to thrive. Groups have remained active in the region, carrying out attacks on government targets and continuing to demand greater autonomy and representation for the Amhara people. The current situation remains volatile, with ongoing clashes between the fano and federal forces raising concerns about the stability of the region and the potential for further violence. Origins. The Italian invasion 1935 to 1941. The earliest and most iconic fano fighters emerged during Italy's fascist invasion of Ethiopia in 1935 under Benito Mussolini. When Italy invaded, Ethiopia was caught off guard. Its army was small and ill-prepared for mechanized warfare, so ordinary Ethiopians had to take up arms to fight back. Emperor Haile Selassie went into exile, leaving the defense of the country in the hands of patriots. Among these were farmers, merchants, students, and soldiers. Specifically, the bulk came from the Amhara region, known for its mountainous terrain and proud warriors. Those who fought back against the Italians in these tough landscapes were called fano, which means volunteer warrior or free fighter. They were led by local chiefs and elders, drawing strength from their intimate knowledge of the rugged terrain, which included thick forests and high plateaus. Most of the fano had strong military training and were armed gun from surrenders. They fought alongside regular Ethiopian army units and played a critical role in harassing and ambushing Italian troops. And because of this, fascist Italy never truly controlled the countryside. The Fanon fighters were deeply supported by local communities. Women would often present them with food and supplies while serving as messengers and nurses. Because of their guerrilla tactics and unwavering commitment, the Fano fighters became symbols of defiance against a much stronger and better equipped enemy. Their bravery and resourcefulness forced the Italians to divert significant resources to try to suppress the uprising. The Fano fighters also played a pivotal role when the Ethiopian patriots, together with exiled leaders and British support, finally defeated the Italians and ended the occupation in 1941. 2. Fano in the Imperial and Derg eras 1941 to 1991. In the aftermath of the Italian defeat, the role of the Fano was largely romanticized. 3. Fano today. Fano groups are found throughout the Amhara region and are active in several other regions as well. Conclusion: what Fano represents the Fano is more than a group of fighters.